Welcome to Vision Plus revision section. This is the number that we have received from the students. Please, if you have more numbers, send them so that we can solve them. This question says, solve the equation sine of theta plus 30 degrees equals to 3 cos theta. So, to solve this, you must be able to remember the formula that says sine of A plus or minus B. Now, here the first one is for the plus part. That sine of A plus B is the same as sine of A cos of B plus cos of A sine of B. Also, for the minus part, we shall have sine of A minus B is the same as sine of A cos of B minus cos of A sine of B. But if you look at our question here, this is from half and double angles. So if you look at our question here, we are seeing that it is a plus. That means we shall go with this first one. So this implies that sine of theta plus 30 degrees equals to 3 cos theta. Now, let me expand this now in this set. Here now, theta here will correspond to A. 30 degrees here will correspond to B. Okay? Yes. So, that means we shall just substitute for them here. We shall say where there is A here, we shall put theta. And where there is B, we shall put 30 degrees. So, therefore, we shall have sine of A. Sine, but A now corresponds to theta. And then cos of B. B corresponds to 30 degrees. This one is like A, and this one is like B. So we have substituted for the first term, but we're saying plus cosine of A. What is A? A is theta here. So we shall have cos of theta, then sine of B. What is our B? Our B is 30 degrees. This is just the expansion of this side of sine. So we're saying E equals to 3 cos of theta. Now, what is the value of cos 30 degrees and the value of sine 30 degrees? There is a very simple approach that has helped me, and I hope it will also help you. What you just do is just, like if you have your fingers like in that format, if these are your fingers in this format, okay, if those are your fingers, so we have designated them that this is 0 degrees, this is 30 degrees, this is 45 degrees, this is 60 degrees, and then this is 90 degrees. Why? Because we have seen that these are the standard angles. Now, if it is a cosine like this, for cosine, you count the fingers up. You count fingers up. But for sine, we count fingers down, or fingers below, or fingers above. This concept will always assist you. Now, we are trying to look for cosine of 30. So you first come to 30. 30 is here. So now here what we do is you count. You're saying count fingers up. How many fingers are now above this 30 degrees? Those are 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 fingers. That means if you are getting cos of 30, so now we shall say it is the same as root of n out of 2. What is n? Here we are saying n is the number of fingers that are up. N is the number of fingers that are up. If you are looking at 30 degrees, do not count the finger of 30, but count the ones above it, which are going to start from 1, 2, 3, which are 1, 2, and 3. So therefore, cos of 30, degrees here, it becomes root of n. What is our n? Our n is now 3. N is 3. Why? There are 3 fingers above the angle we are looking for out of 2. That is for sine of 30. What about the one for cosine? We said that the one for cosine, we are counting the fingers below. So sine 30 degrees now becomes root of n still out of 2, where n is still the number of fingers, but in this case, fingers below. Why? We are dealing with sine. So the angle is 30, and we don't count the finger that is pointing to the angle, but you count the fingers below. That means it is 1. So our n is going to be 1. This one gives us root of 1 out of 2. But we know that root of 1 is 1. Root of 1 is 1. So sine of 30 is actually a half, or 0.5. Choose whether to work with fractions or decimals, but respect their properties. So we have seen how we can simplify cos 30, and sine of 30. That means now we can proceed. Therefore, if we are proceeding from here, we shall say sine theta times cos of 30. But what is cos of 30? Cos of 30 is actually root of 3 out of 2. I've done that part. Plus, continuing from plus cos of theta times, what is sine of 30? Sine of 30 is there as a half. Then we are continuing equals to, what is on the right hand side is 3 cos theta. These dots are very important. Why? They tell you that it is a multiplication. If you don't put them, these numbers here may seem like they're part of the angle of sine, but they are not part of the angle of sine. That's why let me carry them so that they are before sine. So it is just a multiplication. This is the same as root 3 out of 2 sine theta. Why? Because a times b is the same as b times a. Okay, for example, 2 times 3 is 6. If you start with 3 times 2, it's still 6. So in multiplication, order does not really matter. So this order here does not subject us to making errors, saying that this root 3 over 2 is part of the angle. So you carry it to be before sine theta. So plus the same here, plus half cos theta. This gives us 3 cos theta. This one now looks like it is just a simple linear equation. So what can we do? Let's multiply all through by 2. Multiply all terms by 2. All terms by 2. Simply we need to get rid of the denominator. So if you multiply here by 2, 2 will cancel out from here. So that we shall have here root of 3 sine of theta plus cos theta equals to, remember here, if you multiply by 2, 2 times half is 1, it goes away. Then here it will give us 2 times 3 is 6 cosine of theta. Yes, this is a senior phone number, and multiplying all the terms by 2 should not be an issue to you. Now from here, let's collect the right terms. That means we shall have root of 3 sine theta equals to, if I take this cosine that side, if I take this one to be this side, now to change to minus, so minus cosine theta. This gives us a root of 3 sine theta equals to 5 cosine theta. Now I need to look for a way of combining the sine and cosine, and that is tan. So we shall look for a way. Of getting the tan. So what can I do here? I can simply start by dividing both sides by root 3, both sides by root 3. So that here I don't have root 3, so that I can just have sine theta equals to 5 cos of theta out of root 3. What is the second step here? I can divide both sides by cos theta so that I can be able to get tan. So if I divide both terms by cos theta, they will look like sine theta out of cos theta. This one becomes, let me group this one as one term, so that is 5 divided by root of 3. And then I'm multiplying this by cos of theta, and I'm dividing both sides by cos of theta. This and this are going to cancel and give us 1, which is not significant, does not make any necessary change, because 1 times any number is that number. So what is sine theta divided by cos theta? That gives us tan of theta equals to 5 out of root of 3. What is the next thing here? We need to get the angle theta itself. So getting the angle here, we shall just say now theta becomes equal to tan inverse of 5 out of root of 3. What is tan inverse? That is the same as arctan. So you press this on the calculator. Press tan inverse of open bracket 5 divided by root 3. So when you press the calculator here, you shall get 70.9 degrees. That is the value of theta. But you know that if you have these quadrants showing angles, here we are saying all are positive. Here only sine is positive. Here only tan is positive, and here only cosine is positive. So this angle is in the first quadrant. So if we are to get the angle where tan is positive, so for this side we say it is 180 plus that's theta. But here we say it is 180 minus theta. So here now we are going to, this is the first angle. Now the third angle, which is true for this theta, is that we're just going to say 180 plus the angle we have got, 100 degrees plus 70.9 degrees. Yeah, and then you press the calculator. It's like 250.9. So now the solution for the angle becomes 70.9 degrees, and then 250.9 degrees. Please press your calculator for this part, and you'll be able to get the answer.